that train of chasing the dream for fortune and fame. But those who already have it, some are really on a mission. So let's chat with our guest right here on Jqlm Radio's Special Edition. Music, Hip Hop Detective by Rockhot on Pixabay.com. All right. Hey, everybody. It's your girl, Lady J. You are tuned in to Jqlm Radio Special Edition right here on Jqlm Radio, a division of Ego Entertainment Network. And of course, yes, I have another dope guest today on Jqlm Radio Special Edition. You know, here we feature celebrities from different industries. Okay, doesn't just have to be music. All right, from different industries. But before we get into that and we introduce today's guest, I want to share with you how you can tune in and share with your family, friends, and followers. So if this is your first time tuning in to the show or to Jqlm Radio, this is what you would share. If you'd like to share with your family, friends, and followers on all the different ways that they can tune in to Jqlm Radio, this is what you would share. You can tune in live by downloading the Jqlm Radio app on your Apple or Android devices. You can also listen live via Alexa, the TuneIn app, the Simple Radio app, and a host of other platforms of which you can find on our website, where you can also listen live at egoentertainmentnet.com/JQLM-radio. Or just visit egoentertainmentnet.com and click the button right there on the home page. You can also connect with us via our website or social media at JQLM Radio. That's on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Additionally, you can email us at jqlmradio@gmail.com. Find us under our parent company, Ego Entertainment Network, on social media at EGOENTNET. That's Ego Ent Net. You can also follow us on LinkedIn at Ego Entertainment Network. And last but not least, make sure you like, subscribe, and share our YouTube channel, Ego TV Network. All right, now that we have those formalities out of the way, it is time to introduce our guest. And our guest today is none other than Mariea Antoinette. She is the harpist that is redefining music and touching hearts. Let's welcome her to Jqlm Radio's Special Edition.
Hello. Thank you. Hi. What's up? They say, what's up? What's up?
It is so nice to have you here on Jqlm Radio Special Edition.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
So before we get into, all of the ins and betweens of your career, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, where you're from, and what you like to do in your spare time?
Okay, well, my name is Mariea Antoinette, as she introduced, and I'm on the West Coast. Actually, I'm in San Diego, California, 2 hours south of where everything's going on right now. What I like to do in my spare time is I'm pretty close to the ocean, so I'm either working out, walking the beach, getting some grounding, meditating, reading, and of course, practicing, creating new music. And I am a harpist, smooth jazz, funk, R&B harpist.
Okay, so, we know there are many musicians that play many different instruments, but a harpist is usually not the most common.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And
yes.
When you think of harpists, you usually think of symphonies or ballets. Mm-hmm. Or something of that sort. So tell us, what made you decide to go into that particular, instrument in different genres outside of what it would normally be?
Well, in middle school, I went to an all-girl Catholic school, and 1 month out of the year, they would have music month. And so during that month, they would bring in different instruments from the orchestra, cello, violin, viola. And one day the harp came in, and the harpist demonstrated, and I knew that's exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to play that particular instrument. She played a classical piece called Debussy's First Arabesque. It was so beautiful. And I went to her and told her I wanted to study. I wanted to learn this instrument. And she said, if you're not serious, don't waste my time, because my students compete in competitions. And I said, I knew then I was serious. I just was one of those innate instinct things. And I came up in the whole foundation of classical music. My whole foundation is that. And went to school, majored in music, majored in harp performance. And then I went to the orchestra actually in Los Angeles and played as principal for 2 years. But the whole time I was there, I want to play the music I grew up with. I want to do R&B. I want to do smooth jazz. I want to do funk. But as you know, classical music is very rigid. And so it does not allow for improvisation or anything like that. But, I came up during the, 80s, 70s, 80s with Prince, Earth, Wind and Fire, all the R&B artists, and trying to figure out how to take my instrument and move it into a smooth jazz, funk, R&B setting. So I got with a wonderful producer here in San Diego. I don't know if you've ever heard of the group called Fat Burger. They're a national jazz band, but they are all from right here in San Diego, from my neighborhood. And so I went to the producer, musical director, and said, hey, look, I want to transform this into a whole nother thing. And I need your help to make this transition. So he basically had me watch in the recording studio when I seen all these amazing musicians come in, R&B singers, saxophonists, just incredible artists, put an album together. I didn't even know how an album came together. So basically he walked me through the process, and here I am today. There are four albums in, and with R&B, smooth jazz, funk, spoken word, and my latest release, Africa, was on the top 100 of smooth jazz charts for 2 consecutive weeks. Now, that is a rarity. The instrument, the harp, a sister playing it and being #1. So there's been some milestones with me in this instrument and my vision, because it's all about creativity and vision, and this is what I envisioned that I wanted to do. And right now I'm doing it.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. And, what an amazing journey. So, some people, when they see something that they like or that they may become passionate about, if it's not the norm or somebody say, you can't do that, it's never been done before. Like, hey, there's a first for everything. So congratulations.
That's right.
Kudos on that. So,
well, you know what? It was funny that you should even say that, because that's what I was told. You can't do that. You can't make people dance on harp music. I go, watch me. And so a lot of my shows, people jump right up and they start dancing. So, you just got to press through. It's all about the vision. It really is.
Right. Okay. So would you like to give our listeners, a little sample?
A little what? I didn't hear you.
A little sample of your music.
Well, I was telling you that I was hoping that, I don't know if you had it geared up, but if we had Africa, we could, give them a sample of that. That would be amazing. That's my latest release.
Okay.
So that would be epic. Why don't we start with the #1?
We'll pause here and I'll insert it when it airs.
Okay.
All right. So that piece you said is your latest piece or your newest piece. How can people go and find your music, and where can they stream? How can they download, buy, purchase?
Yes, well, I'm on all platforms. I'm on Spotify, so you could go streaming there. Apple, Amazon. I have a YouTube channel. I have my website, www.mariaantoinette.com, where you can see everything, my bio, music, videos, performances live. You can get pretty much everything there. But I'm online, YouTube. You can just type in my name and it'll come up and you will see lots of music videos.
Awesome. So, can you tell me what would you say has been your greatest accomplishment thus far in your entire journey?
Wow. There's been several. I mean, one, when, let's say greatest, it's not even one. I had the opportunity to play for the president and the first lady of the United States. That would be one. And then the first time I did a Seabreeze Jazz Festival, to step on stage and there's 40,000 people there.
Mhm.
That was exciting. There's been a lot of milestones, a lot of like epic performances, epic venues. It's really, the journey's been amazing.
Awesome. Awesome. And what would you say, if you could choose anything, has been your greatest challenge and how did you overcome that?
Promoting harp music in smooth jazz and R&B. That continues to be my challenge,
Mhm.
because people, just like you said earlier when you introduced me, that when people think of harp, they think of the orchestra. They don't think of it as a mainstream lead instrument and everybody's backing me. So, and then you're female and you're African American woman.
Mhm.
Those are some pretty hefty challenges. But again, I always tell people I can show you better than I could tell you. So
Right.
once they hear the music, see me perform, then they're like, oh my God, I never heard the harp played like that before. So that would be probably my biggest challenge in getting promoters to put me up on stage with my band, because I have
Mhm.
an 8-piece band with backup singers and everything, for them to see that vision. And once they see like the videos, then they get it. They're like, oh my God. So, yep, that would be it.
Okay. And last but not least, if you could say anything to someone who is, I'll say, fearful or has some reservations about venturing out and doing something that has not been done before, what advice would you give them?
To continue to do it. If you have it in your mind and in your vision to do that, regardless of what anybody says, regardless if it hadn't been done, then that means that you're supposed to do it. You were given that gift, you were given that knowledge, you were given that creative spark to do that. So you're supposed to do it, and be disciplined with it, and be really serious about executing what it is you want to do, and do the work. It requires a lot of work.
Yes, yes. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your journey with us, your music, your story. I hope that you continue to, meet milestones and continue to blaze a trail in your field.
Okay, well, thank you for having me. This was wonderful.
No problem. So listen, you all go check out Mariea Antoinette at mariaantoinette.com. All right. Go support, go get her music, go check out her videos on YouTube, everything. All right. And make sure you go tell your friends as well. So you have been tuned in to another episode of JQLM Radio's special edition with your girl, Lady J, right here on JQLM Radio, a division of Ego Entertainment Network. And until next time.